has put important people into my life and saying, Brandon, what you need to be doing is focusing on what God's called you to. This, A, B, and C. These are the bare bones. These are the basics, because no one else is going to hold up the stop sign in your life unless if you got stronger people than you around you in your circle. And that's the thing that fires me up every day, and this is why I come to you every day with these broadcasts, why we do the post, why Barry's working so hard, Kelly, Neil, Michael, all these fantastic people, what you're doing, what God's doing through you, why your pastor's working so hard, why your worship team is so hard. And yeah, you know what? You may have that drummer that comes in late. You may have that keyboard player who's not practicing all the time. But instead of you complaining about it, what are you doing about it? What are you doing to help aid them coming through? My pianist this past week said to me after Sunday service, said to me, Brandon, yeah, like after Sunday service, look, I missed this chord, and you know, she's just like, she rotates about probably once or twice a month, you know, and she turned to me, she's like, Brandon, yeah, but you know, I missed some of these chords. And I'm like, yeah, but my question was to her was, where was your heart? And she said, well, I was focused on Him. And I said, well, then that's right where God wants you to be. You know, I've said this before through our music time this past week. No one cares if you miss that C sharp minor 7 chord. They don't care. You know, they care maybe how you play it in terms of if you're making music and you're making good music that's going to support worship. Yeah, absolutely. But they can care less about the inner note or the one harmony or maybe that one word that you just left out. They're more interested in how are you connecting to God and how are you allowing God to use you in that connection and leading worship. That's what I find to be paramount in connecting with people and in connecting with God. Music has to be good. It has to be good. It has to be excellent. Why? Because it engages people. And if you have music, I'm sorry, if you have music that stinks, it's not going to engage. It's not going to lead people, because it's very much like, let's say this program. If I came to you and the camera was all shaky and you know I wasn't prepared and I'm tripping all over my words, well, it wouldn't be good quality, would it? It would not engage you, would it? So that's analogous to how we lead worship. I mean, if we're out of tune guitars, feedback all the time. I mean, it's the message is what we want to keep, or not keep, but we want to have it pristine. We want God to speak through. No, it's not about excellence, but it's about doing things well. And why? Because Psalms 33. Look, you challenge me on this? Let's go for it. Psalms 33, 1-3 says, be excellent, play skillfully before God. What do you think that means? It's not just a pretty passage that we read in the Bible. It means that everything that we do, all things should be done well. It doesn't mean it needs to be perfect. It just means that things need to be done well. And why? Because when God takes control of it, and when you and I do our part in our practice time, and our prayer time, and our own worship time, and then when we are with people, wow! I mean, you talk about God taking control. Yeah, thanks, Hernandez. On Periscope, he says, God is worth excellence. Absolutely. Why? Like, I remember a good friend of mine, songwriter, had said, why would we want to come to worship like we would come to a party and not offer God a gift? Or if we were to offer a gift that's like maybe last year's Christmas elephant gift, that nobody wanted during the white elephant party, right? Why would we come to God with any less than what He deserves? I know that we all have the excuse of, yeah, but God takes control of the service, or yeah, God knows what I mean. Well, maybe, yeah, I mean, He does. He knows what we mean, and yes, we have grace and mercy through Jesus, but Jesus also invested the talents, right? Remember? And to the servants. And so we are His servants. What are we doing to invest? Are we just going to come back to Him and say, well, rather He comes back to us? Or are we just going to say to Him, yeah, but Jesus, this is what I did. I took control and I just buried what You gave me so that, it would just be kept and it would be maintained. God doesn't want you to maintain, because if you maintain, you'll eventually burn out and you'll die out. What God causes you and I to do, calls you and I